All right, guys, Isaac Okoro is still out there for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He has yet to sign his qualifying offer, which is $11.8 million, which the Cavs extended to him earlier this summer, making him a restricted free agent. No team has jumped at the offer to match it and or exceed said offer, which then the Cavs would have the ability to match. But Chris Fedor of Cleveland.com reported over the weekend that the Cavs have offered Okoro and his camp a multi-year deal worth somewhere between $8 million and $10 million per year, and Okoro is yet to sign that contract or agree to said contract. In your mind, Tyvis, with how close the Cavs are to the luxury tax, and more importantly, their $17 million gap between where they currently are without the Okoro contract and the first apron of the luxury tax, what's the best course of action here for Okoro and the Cavs? Should it be the qualifying offer? Should he take $8 to $10 million a year on a multi-year deal? Or should they see someone else to find him in restricted free agency and see if the Cavs will match?
For him, I think that.
Let's start with him, from his perspective.
For him, of course, he doesn't want that. He don't want to be in a multi-year deal because he probably feels like, I can go out there and I can show some things and all it takes is 1 year. I just need to do it 1 year and I can get as much money as, what was you estimating, 50 million, something like that? What was you saying?
At some point this year, I was guessing like 80 mil.
See, that's what I'm saying. So, see.
Before the playoffs, he was playing.
See what I'm saying? So, in his mind, he thinks to himself, let me just take a 1 year deal, and if I can just do it in the playoffs just one time, I just need to do it one time in the playoffs, it can change the rest of my life. But from a standpoint that if he doesn't, then he's back in this similar thing next year. Well, actually, he'll be unrestricted next year, so he can sign with whatever. So I would think for him, I don't think he really should sign a multi-year deal. I think he should sign a 1 year deal and hopefully have a really good year this year, play well in the playoffs because you're going to get there. Then you can sign for however much you want. That, if I'm from his perspective. Cavs' perspective, that's about right. That's about right. If you could get him on a multi-year deal and lower that number, that hit down, then perfect. That's fine. But you got his replacement anyways, who you signed with, Jalen Tyson. So it doesn't matter if he does or don't. I think you will miss his defense if you do essentially let him walk. Due to the fact that you got Kenny Atkinson coming in here and he wants to install his offense, and I think that it'll be more of an offensive focus point. And you probably need a defensive guy that's going to come in and still lock down some of these guards and stuff like that, because you don't want Evan Mobley to always have to check these guards and stuff. So I think that he will be missed in that role, and I think that will be a perfect deal for the Cavs.
Is he worth 8 to 10, G?
Listen, if he was smart, he'd take that and keep it pushing. He'd take that right there and sign it. Listen, when you talk about multi-year, what you talking about? Like 3 years?
It just said multi-year.
Okay, say.
I'm guessing let's say 3 for 30. Let's just call it 3 for 30.
Man, that's $10 million a year. I don't know listen, that's life-changing money. Like you might want to rule that out, bank that 30, and figure out what you need to do. But to me, for a guy who has not figured out like the offensive side of the thing, especially in the playoffs. Now, he plays well during the regular season, but does not shoot the ball well in the playoffs. And sometimes he's borderline not playable in the playoffs.
Can I stop you? Mm-hmm. He was unplayable in 2 playoffs in a row now. He took 30 – Fedor put the stat in the article. He took 35 attempts in the playoffs this season from 3. 34 were tracked as open or wide open by NBA, which means 4 or more feet of distance between the shooter and the closest defender. Teams do not guard him in the playoffs. That is not a debate. That's not an opinion. That is a trackable, certifiable fact that teams do not guard Isaac Okoro in the playoffs, and they are willing to let him shoot wide-ass open threes because he doesn't take enough to hurt him. If he's going to he averaged 3.13 attempts per game this year. He shot 40%. By law of averages, he's making 1.2 threes a game. Teams are willing to sag off in the paint to deter other people to shoot.
That's nothing.
If Okoro is going to make him pay with 1.2 threes per game. Even if they shot a good 40% in the regular season, the volume isn't enough to justify not having to guard him.
And I don't want to make it this, but it just goes back to there's obvious flaws on the way the roster is constructed. And when you take Isaac Okoro 5th, and he's a lottery pick, you need him to be elite at something. He's good defensively. You need him to be market smart. If I'm gonna pay,
That's NBA Defensive Player of the Year level good defense.
I need you to be like, and if you ain't got the offensive game, you gotta be locked down. Like, and I would prefer if you were locked down and you were like 6'7" or 6'8". He's a good defender for being 6'4". I don't know if that's worth it. That's why I would take it. If I was in a position, give me that little, because I don't 8 to 10. If I could get the 10 for 3 and maybe an option, come on, give me a player option for the last one, and then I could decline it if I'm balling and move somewhere else.
Can I give you both sides of this coin here? On the one hand, if you're Okoro, the $11.8 million qualifying offer is more than the Cavs are reportedly offering. Plus, then you hit unrestricted free agency next year, and you're hoping to cash in. You hope one more season of offensive progression in a new system that would theoretically allow him to do more on the offensive end, leads to more numbers, and eventually gets him a bigger payday down the road. But if you look at the Cavs roster, how is Atkinson, and I don't know an answer, I'm just asking the question. How is Atkinson going to feel about playing a guy in a motion offense who hasn't shown the propensity to create? He's not great off the dribble. Teams leave him open. He's a catch-and-shoot guy, but he hasn't shown much more in this motion-style offense. How does he kind of fit into that with Mobley and Allen, who aren't shooters yet, when you need guys moving to get the most out of Atkinson's offense? He's going to be the 8th or 9th guy, right? So is he going to play enough minutes, frankly, to earn himself the numbers that then earn himself a bigger payday, which is more than $10 million?
And would you play him over a guy who's a first-round pick who's shown upside that you can play and develop?
Potentially. So that's the Okoro side. From the Cavs side, and I'm, once again, not saying yes or no, I'm just asking the question. You are $10 million from the luxury tax. You're $17 million from the first apron of the cap. The Cavs have said multiple times they do not want to start the luxury tax clock until Evan Mobley's salary kicks into the extension, which is next year. They do not want to be a luxury team this year. So from their standpoint, do they truly want Okoro to take the qualifying offer and or opt into the cheaper deal, which puts them right up along the luxury tax to begin with? And then they got to finagle some salaries to then get back under it. I think it's almost, in a way, kind of a no-win for both sides. Okoro's going to want to play and prove. He could do more to get a bigger payday down the road. But does he fit into what the Cavs are going to want to do offensively next season? And if you are going to take a 3-year, $10 million per annual average salary deal, is that selling him short, and is that making it so locked into this roster that you don't have flexibility either way?
I know the answer to this, but could you finagle some sort of late first-round pick for him? Or on a team that got multiple?
Are you saying like somebody going to trade?
If he signs the qualifying offer and trade him?
Yeah.
At the deadline, potentially. But I don't think you could trade him right away.
Because I thought it was a natural progression. I thought it was best for him to part. I looked at what the roster was doing. I looked at the money that was going to be available. That's why in different trades, I always had him packaged in one of these trades when it looked like you was going to move a guy like Darius Garland.
I looked up real quick. Let me find this. I looked up guys in the league making between $8 and $12 million. So between what the low end of the Cavs reported and the qualifying offer. These are just names. Some are better, some are worse. T.J. McConnell, Alex Caruso, Buddy Hield, Talen Horton-Tucker, Trey Jones, Chris Paul, Gabe Vincent, Terrence Mann, Dante DiVincenzo, Aaron Nesmith, Royce O'Neal, Kelly Oubre, Caleb Martin, Sam Hauser, and Simone Fontecchio.
That's all of them.
I'll take every last one of them.
But I read those names to say, that's the range that he's in. That's probably the right range of what he deserves to make.
He's lower than that. DiVincenzo?
Well, that's somewhere in the range.
Gabe, what's in there? Listen, give me Chris Paul, give me Terrence Mann, give me all of them.
I'm not saying I'm just saying that's the range of players from the whole thing.
So they giving him a pretty decent deal.
He's getting a bargain.
I think the offer is relatively fair.
He's getting
for a guy and we crushed George Niang in that contract, right? We crushed that contract with the Cavs signed.
Yeah.
It was it's too much money, and then last year was the worst case scenario. Yep. He wasn't playable in the playoffs. Part of the reason George Niang got the contract he got from the Cavs was he was a guy who you looked at who had more playoff experience than anyone on the roster, including Donovan Mitchell, who had come through in the playoffs not just once, but in 2 and 3 separate playoff occasions. And then last year was a catastrophe from George Niang. But he got paid because guess what? He was a guy the Cavs hoped they could count on in a playoff rotation. And Isaac Okoro hasn't proven that yet. In 2 different playoff trips, he was unplayable against New York, and he was essentially unplayable against Orlando and Boston last year. So he doesn't get that, oh, well, regular season, whatever, playoff boost, there's a little extra money. Like, he doesn't get that benefit of the doubt.
He don't. He's not going to. That's why I'm saying you might want to take that bread they offer you.
Yeah.
Try to try
$30 million. That's life-changing.
That's life-changing bread.
It may be 3 for 24. Like I said, it was just reported by Chris Fedor, multi-year between 8 and 10. The qualifying offer is 11.8.
$24 million.
And then he probably done already made how much in his career?
I can look it up. Give me a sec.
First round pick.
You first round pick?
Top 5 pick. A lot of other guys from his class have been Toppin got, was it 3 or 4 for 58? Whatever, he got close to 60. Denny Avia got 55 mil.
Where did he go, the Pacers?
Stay with the Pacers. Jalen Smith, who was the 10th pick in that draft, just signed a 3-year, $27 million contract with Chicago.
All right, they doing him a favor then.
And plus what he could do is he could stick around. Isaac Okoro is a guy that's going to stick in the league a long time. Isaac Okoro ain't going to be a dude that's going to flash out, flame out of the league because he did something. He good character dude, clean cut, no problems, no issues, nothing. He going to play hard.
He's made $29 million in his life.
Oh, yeah.
His rookie contract paid him $29.1 million.
Oh, he rich.
He about to take the 3 for 24.
Take that 3.
Yeah,
come on, Tyvis.
That's 50. You got $50
You
million.
got 50. You good. And you don't look like you spending it nowhere. You look like you do right by your money. Yeah. I don't want to count nobody's pockets, but I don't see you on the gram.
50M, shoot.
He did get hacked on Twitter.
I did see that one time.
Recently got hacked.
And everybody realized.
What did he say?
It was
some weird
stuff.
I did.
And it was,
I gotta Google it.
And it was funny because everybody at the bottom was like, "Oh yeah, Isaac Okoro definitely got hacked."
Because he doesn't tweet.
Yeah,
and
he
all of
don't.
a sudden he was making
he was going crazy.
Some iffy comment, and he was replying like random people.
I was like, "Nah, this is definitely not Isaac Okoro. Have fun while you at it."
And there's the whole potential of a sign and trade with Okoro, but it gets so iffy with these new luxury tax and apron and what you can and you can't trade and the salary implications of what you can take back versus can't take back. I think the best course of action, if I'm Isaac Okoro, I'm honest, 3 for 27 sounds pretty good when you're looking at the other guys in the league who are making that much money. But with the new TV deal rights, all these contracts are going up. So maybe even if he gets paid in the same range he would have got paid this year, the equivalent of 3 for 27 is 3 for 35 next year, 3 for 36. So who knows? Hope Isaac gets paid. I hope they all get paid. But it is certainly a tricky cap situation for the Cavaliers to navigate over the coming days.